secrets of different bills. At Uncle Demon, you need it, I got it listed here. You wanna make it, I'll show you just how to make it here. I got all the rarest bills, and I ain't done yet. Went from the finish to making bills like a prospect. Flow space and slashes to catching us with a lot of threat. You keep the medals cause the right one's coming up next. Only scratch the surface, still they try to drag my name in dirt. They try to bring me down, see me winning, you ain't like me then.
Alright, so today we're going to go ahead and update the best center swing type build along with the best lockdown build. These are two different types of builds. Obviously, the swing center build is meant to play the 3. The lockdown is meant to play the 2. The lockdown is meant to be the guard, the primary ball handler, whereas the center is meant to be playing it the back end of the pick and roll, but also be able to stop 7'4" centers from shooting. So if you have these two builds on your team as a guard, you should basically be covered in all areas as far as the best defense that you can have in 2K26 currently as the state that we're currently in. This is based upon the new update and patch that we have. So let's talk about the center position. And the first thing we need to talk about when we're going through this center position is the fact that 2K Labs did drop some data that showed that you will get a 43.4% contest with the new post patch. And then as you can see at 611, you'll get a 48.4. But the thing that is really important here is that you want to make sure you can have, in my opinion, what will really set you apart is to be able to have that challenger on silver. And as you can see at the bottom, they have an 82 perimeter defense, which will give you silver challenger, whereas the 611 has bronze challenger. But let's also take into account that the taller you get, the least likely you are to be able to help laterally with your agility. As you can see, this build has a 72 agility. Is that the best? Of course not. But is it the worst? No, because remember, this build is not meant to be guarding on ball, but it has the ability to if need be. The issue that you will have is that once you become 6'9", when you become 6'9" and you start to get in that 30% contest range with a close shot with your hands up, again, now you can put yourself to be very subjected to these 7'4s. So you have to play in that medium. You don't want to go too short, because you go too short, 7'4s are still going to be able to shoot over you post patch. But you don't want to go too tall, because even as you can see, another 7'4" center will be able to get an 81% contest on another 7'4", but then you're just too slow, and you're not going to be in perfect position most of the time, because again, you're too slow, you have no perimeter badges, okay? So you have to find that equal medium, and this is the equal medium that we currently have. So the finishing portion, you just want to go 75 just to be able to get the athletic dunk package, and of course standing dunks to be able to, 81 standing dunk to get pro big man contact dunks. You also have an 83 ball to be able to shoot threes. Okay, now the route that I went was with the max wingspan, but you do not have to go max wingspan if you don't want to. Let's keep that in mind, because max wingspan, as Toots dropped another video, and when Toots dropped his video, it showed for some reason, shape, or form, your wingspan has absolutely no effect on your challenge percentage. 7'5" wingspan, as you see here, and an 8'7" wingspan, which is the max you can get a game, they both get the same type of contest. That is going to be very important when we make our guard build. So keep in mind, the mindset that we had in previous 2Ks about having a long wingspan does not change anything. And that's the problem that most of y'all are going to have if you continue to not look at the data and have this mindset that, oh, I need a max wingspan so I can get more contests. No, it doesn't matter no more. So now the wingspan will be predicated on other things. In this instance, we don't need to worry about that, because we don't have to, do anything differently for this, but in the smaller guard, we will. We do have a 77 pass accuracy. More so, again, this is a center build that can be played in the rec, but this is more of a play in the park and that type of deal. But you could use this build in the rec, and it'll be even more dominant if they can put you at the power forward spot. But the rec is still going to be really strong with this build. But a 77 would just give you the De'Aaron Fox passing style. And then again, you see right here, we have an 82. The 82 is just to get that post lockdown on silver. You still get Paint Patroller on silver. You get what's most important here, which is that challenger, but you also get a Move Enforcer on silver. You get a 79 still, because at this height, you can't get an 85, so it makes no sense to go any higher than 79. Just get the silver glove and silver interceptor. And then we will use 5 cap breakers here to get to a 93. which will give us Paint Patroller on Gold, and it'll also give us High Fly Denier on Hall of Fame. Those are important. And then the other 5 cap breakers will go here with a 96, which will give us Hall of Fame Rebound Chaser, and it'll also give us Hall of Fame Box Out. Okay, so you will have Hall of Fame Box Out here. But what I will recommend is using your Max +2 on your Challenger to get that Challenger on Hall of Fame. Just get as much as you can on that Challenger to be able to start to stop the 7'4", because again, at the end of the day, that's all that really matters. And then also use a +2 on your Immovable Enforcer to get your Immovable Enforcer on Hall of Fame, because that would help bump those guards on the perimeter if for some way, shape, or form you have to get on that guard up front. Okay, 75 speed, 72 agility. That's just kind of nature of the beast. Again, you're 6'10", and then an 83 strength, which is important again to get that brick wall on silver to help with the set screens if you need be. But at the end of the day, another thing that's going to be important is going with this 88 burp to be able to get that pogo stick on Legend, which again will help you spam triangle when you're trying to get the contest on the 7'4s. Okay, so again, this is heavily backed by data. This is statistically, based upon the data, the best way to stop a 7'4" as a back end center. Okay, so that is what the purpose of this build is based upon the data that we have. And then here you have, my nephews and nieces, we have the Edge Enforcer, right? And again, I will quickly go and I want to show you what you can do with your cap breakers, because that is also important when it comes to that. Even though we already spoke on what you can use in your cap breakers, but some of y'all will have 15, some of y'all will have 20 cap breakers. So it just depends on, you know, your progression and where you're at right now. But there's some other things that can really help you out a lot with this build. And the big one outside of the outside of your, I'm drawing a blank right here, your defensive rebound and your block would be, of course, the pass accuracy. So as you can see, upgrading your pass accuracy would just continue to allow you to get stronger and stronger when it comes to outlet passes if you're playing in the rec with this build. And then last but not least, another one that's going to be really strong for this build is just upgrading your mid-range, because this right here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, oh, I thought that was 10, but anyway, you're still getting 84. I thought we'd get you 85, so that probably wouldn't be the best, but you could upgrade this also. Again, the standing driving dunk is something big, but really what I want you to focus on is just getting your block, your defensive rebound, and then your pass accuracy up, and that will make this build really solid. Okay, so again, statistically, this is the best way to negate those 7'4s. Now we're going to back out, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the the lockdown build that I feel like is what's definitely going to set you apart when it comes to trying to guard just the actual opponent's guard. Okay, so what we're gonna do here, going the wrong way, I got a lot of builds as you can see here. Where we at? It will be, here we go. All right, so what we're gonna have here, again, 6'6", 217 pounds, 6'10" wingspan. We do not have a max out wingspan. We're going 6'10", right? Now, let's go ahead and talk about some of the reasons why we're not going max wingspan. If you go max wingspan, it drops your strength. Now, 2K Toots did another video, and within that video, he basically showed how important Immovable Enforcer is as far as getting the guards to pick up their dribble. Because a lot of these guards are not going to have strength, and they will not have a high enough strong handle. That's why I always say when these creators are making these guard builds that have no strength, and they say they don't need that, but then when they go up against a lockdown that has a Immovable Enforcer, and in this case with the Max +2 will have that Immovable Enforcer on Legend, now all of a sudden they're in a very bad predicament, because they're going to get themselves in a situation where they're going to keep on being bumped and losing the dribbles, or being susceptible to getting pushed out of bounds if they're going baseline or getting too close to the baseline. Now, we will use 5 cap breakers here to get a 99 perimeter defense. Again, Toots did a video and talk about how strong on-ball menace is, so we want to get that on Legend. So you will be able to get this on Legend with the on-ball menace, and that's the reason why you see the 86 agility. We going just right where we need for the agility. Don't need to go no higher. Even though you can continue to upgrade your lateral quickness, but the problem is that you cannot get a 90 and have 85 strength. Remember, you want to try to stay in multiples of 5 with your builds unless it opens up a badge. And that's the reason why we don't have 85 agility, we have 86, because we need 86 to get that legend badge for on-ball minutes. Same thing here with steals. We will use 5 cap breakers here to get to a 96. Now that'll give you interceptor and glove on Hall of Fame. Now again, this is really up to you if you want to go, if you even want to go that route, because again, as we all know, it's really non-existent on on-ball steals. There might be a potential for an upgrade, but we don't know. Okay. Now you only get a 74 block, right? Paint Patroller on bronze, high fly denier on bronze, and your terror defense on a 60. Because the data once again shows that wingspan has nothing to do with contest and it has nothing to do with your block. So if you haven't put yourself in a situation to where you want to get the attributes for it, you're going to have to ask yourself, what is more important? Getting a chase down block or being able to stonewall the ball handler? And to me, I feel like stonewalling the ball handler with golden move on Forcer and then a max +2 to get on legend is more important than trying to do anything when it comes to the paint high fly denier. So that's the reason why we're not doing that, okay? Then you come over here to your 3-point shot. You have an 87, because why? Fades in the three, fading 3-pointers is so OP that it's really a good benefit to have your lockdown, have the ability to get the ball and run to the corner and fade. That's the reason why we have a 75 ball handle here, to still be able to get that lightning launch. And we'll talk about that in a second when we look at the cap breakers. But then you're able to fade and be able to get those shots off in the corner. And of course, with an 87, able to shoot threes at an extremely high rate. Now, last but not least, we have a 75 driving dunk to be able to get that 1-foot athletic dunk packages. And then we'll end up with the vert, which will allow you to get that pogo stick on Hall of Fame. Because again, pogo stick jumping with these badges is what is really going to set you apart. Now, obviously the charts with 2K2s only showed 7'4", and then it went from 6'9" to 7'4" is what you can contest shots with. But 2K2s also did a video where it showed 6'4" builds, and that is what this will be able to cover, because most guards are going to be 6'4" to 6'9", right? They're going to range in that. Some people love the 6'4s. Right? Some people love their 6'6s, some people love the 6'8s or the 6'9s, but regardless, you being 6'6", you're able to cover all those heights. You see what I'm saying? Because everything has to be within 3 inches. So you'll be able to cover that on both ends, right? The 6'4", right? You'll be able to, because you're 6'6", you'll do that. But then at 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", and 6'9", that's all within 3 inches. So now you will still be able to be in that buffer zone to still be able to play really good defense and get those great contests, okay? And then as you can already saw from the beginning, this 6'6" is going to be called a physical 3-and-D sniper because of the 87 3 ball. And then we're going to go ahead and once again look at these cap breakers and get you out of here. What's really important about this build, like I said, that this is all backed by data, right? Data, highly data driven build of what you would need to have to be very successful. And as you can see here, we talked about using the 5 cap breakers here, but the next growth for this build is really up to you. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. That would give you an 86 driving dunk, so that's one off. Let me see. Your pass accuracy, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88. This gives you 89 pass accuracy. What I like here is that you can go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? An 80 ball handle, and then use 3 right here. So that's basically 5 total. And that will give you 80 ball handle with 80 speed with ball. And what would that allow you to have? Blur takeover, right? With this build, which is absolutely insane. So you can see the versatility of this build by the fact that it is a true lockdown, but then you can cap breaker it up to be able to get 80 ball handle, 80 speed with ball to get that coveted blur takeover, even though you're a lock. And it'll basically make you be a two-way guard where you can be a primary ball handler if you wanted to, because you have an 87 3 ball that you can still do fades with. So these two are what I would consider right now, since this update with this patch, statistically based upon data, the best swing and lockdown that you can get in this game. But y'all, I'm curious. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think? Are these the 2 best lockdown builds to use? If not, let me know in the comment section what you feel like will be the alternative. But other than that, it's your favorite old head, Uncle Jimmy. I'll be back really, really soon on the Banger Man. You know, when I say back soon on the Banger, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about tomorrow, man. I'm out.